We have another 2 minutes to go. Anybody else would like to introduce?
Good morning, Dr. James, sir.
Good morning, Nageshwar.
Yeah, sir. And good morning to Fazal, sir. Good morning to Samir, sir. And Dr. James, sir.
Yes, please.
Yeah, communication is very, very important part of the life. If you are a good communicator, definitely you can convince the people. So very eager to see. And that too, we are learning from a renowned person like Samir, sir. So
Yes,
thank you very much. And I'm very happy to be part of this.
Thank you. Welcome. Shankar, is it live? Shankar?
Yes, sir, it is live. It is live. We are good to go.
All right. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. We will start the session now. Rotarian Fazal, can we start now? DG Fazal, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I'm extremely happy to welcome our guests, participants, and resource person. I have great pleasure in welcoming our beloved District Governor, Rotarian Fazal Mahmood, who has readily accepted our invitation to inaugurate the session. Hearty welcome, sir. May I also welcome our past District Governor, Rotarian Dr. Samir Hariani, today's speaker. Hearty welcome, PDG Rotarian Dr. Samir Hariani.
Thank you, Dr. James. Thank you for the welcome.
May I also welcome all participants, those who have joined this webinar from various Rotary clubs, Interact clubs, Rotaract clubs, MSW alumni, students and faculties from various universities and institutions from across India. And there are advocates, medical professionals, and the general public. I welcome each one of you to this wonderful webinar. One second, let me. The session is being hosted by Rotary Bangalore Sneha, Bangalore MSW Socialites, Alumni Association, Department of Studies in Social Work, University of Mysore, and counsellingpro.com. Rotary Bangalore Sneha is a part of Rotary International District 3190. This club has been very active during these testing times of COVID-19, organized more than 25 webinars and knowledge sharing sessions, gave free psychometric assessment tools to students, organized free psychological counseling to COVID-19 affected people, and distributed food packets to the needy, organized blood donation camps, and is very active in all Rotary district initiative. Dr. S. Nithalila is the charter president. Rotarian Unikrishnan is the current president, and Rotarian Madhukar is the secretary. MSW Socialites is an alumni association of the Department of Studies in Social Work, University of Mysore, formed in the year 2008. The association has been organizing various programs for the benefit of its members. CounsellingPro.com is an online counseling wellness company having more than 25 professional counselors on board. Before we start, let me request all of you to close your eyes and pray for world peace and to come out of this COVID. Close your eyes and pray for. Thank you. Thank you so much. May I request Rotary Unnikrishnan, President of the Rotary Bangalore Sneha, to welcome our chief guest and briefly introduce our DG Rotarian Fazal Mahmood. Over to you, Mr. Unnikrishnan.
Good morning, everybody. I'm delighted to introduce and welcome Rotarian Fazal Mahmood, District Governor, Rotary International District 3190. Rotarian Fazal Mahmood was born and raised in Bangalore. He is a passionate Rotarian, a diligent professional, fair-minded person, and a loving family man. A practicing architect since 1986 under the banner Matrix Consultants. Over the last 3 decades, the firm has designed a wide spectrum of projects ranging from institutions, mosques, commercial buildings, boutique villas, interiors for corporates, and residential projects. He has begun his Rotary journey in the year of 1979 as a charter member of the Rotaract Club of Jayanagar and went on to become the president in the year 1984-85. Served as a secretary of the Multi-District Rotaract Conference in the same year, which saw participation of around 1,500 delegates. He was recognized with the Outstanding President of the Year Award. Joined as a charter member of Rotary Bangalore Metro in April 1993 and was president of the club in the year 1997-98. He has been a part of the district team since 1996-97. Some of the important assignments, milestones in his journey were being DRCC thrice, assistant governor, conference vice chairman 3 times, and then conference secretary, district secretary, zonal governor, and directors coordinator. He was the chairman for the district training assembly and the ICGF youth service and club service. He has managed the banquet, lunchathon, and dinner meetings in honor of visiting international Rotary international leaders and ID to visiting dignitaries. Over the last 3 decades, he has been a part of the club, district, and global grant service projects, providing relief and solace for a wide range of community causes for the disadvantaged, distressed, or the vulnerable sections of our community. His efforts have contributed in building stronger communities and promoting equality and opportunity for all. A graduate of Rotary Leadership Institute, Rotary RLI, he has served the district training team as a facilitator in President-elect training seminar, Assistant Governor's training seminar, district officers training seminars, and district assembly. Over the years, he has awarded Rotary regional seminars, and he attended Rotary's regional seminars and summits and the Rotary International Convention in Bangkok. He's a major donor to the Rotary Foundation. His social life has been equally engaging. He is the vice chair of the International Association for Religious Freedom, life member of Youth Hostel Association of India, founder trustee and vice president of Indian Foundation of Global Peace Education. And he visited multiple foreign countries as a part of the youth exchange delegation, and is a member of United Religions Initiative, a global grassroots level interfaith network that cultivates peace and justice by engaging people to bridge religious and cultural differences, and advisor and mentor of Basavangudi Youth Trust, vice president, Crescent Institutions, Basavangudi, and governing council member of Crescent PU College. A keen sportsman and an athlete, has captained his school and college football team, brings laurels to the institutions, and a cadet of NCC, a regular blood donor, and a lead by example Rotarian. Happily married to Rotarian Sabiha, who is the charter president of Inaugurated Bangalore Metro and a Rotarian RCB Metro. They are blessed with a son, Danish Mahmood, a practicing architect, married to Sainath Danish, a software engineer, and daughter Mazira Mahmood, an interior designer. And he's known as the gentleman governor in Rotary 3190 and in the Rotary world. Happy to welcome Sir, and please take over.
Thank you, Mr. Unnikrishnan. Thank you, the President, Mr. Unnikrishnan. Over to you, Dr. DG Fazal Mahmood, sir.
Yeah, thank
For
you.
your
Thank you,
inaugural.
Unni. Thank you, James. It's great to listen to our dear friend, Dr. Samir Hariani, especially on communication. It's a lovely program you have arranged, and I'm sure this program is going to benefit a lot of them. Maker President Unnikrishnan of this young club, Rotary Bangalore Sneha, Chainmaker Secretary Madhukar, international trainer and prolific communicator, our own torchbearer, dazzling past district governor, Dr. Samir Hariani, Assistant Governor of this Sneha and Rotarian Dr. James Thomas, Chief Counsellor, counsellingpro.com, Chainmaker leaders, friends in Rotary, friends of Rotary, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning. Shubhodaya, Namaskara to one and all. First, let me congratulate Rotary Bangalore Sneha, MSW Socialites and counsellingpro.com for organizing such a wonderful training program on learn effective communication skills. Yes, my dear friends, communication is very, very, very important. And when it is coming from such a leader of our district, an international leader who can give you a wonderful training this morning. And yes, it is the first step towards success. Today's trainer, Dr. Samir Hariani, is going to train you on the advantages of better communication. And I'm sure at the end of the session, you will definitely be a good communicator. It's said that these trainings will help you avoid misunderstandings, grasp the real meaning of what's being communicated, and greatly improve your work and personal relationships. Effective communication is about more than just exchanging information. It's about understanding the emotion and intentions behind the information. As well as being able to clearly convey a message, you need to also listen in a way that gains the full meaning of what's being said and makes the other person feel heard and understood. It's always said that effective communication sounds like it should be instinctive, but all too often, when we try to communicate with others, something goes astray. We say one thing, the other person hears something else, and misunderstandings, frustration, and conflicts ensue. This can cause problems in your daily life, be it at your home or your school or at your work relationships or any organizations like Rotary. For many of us, communicating more clearly and effectively requires learning some important skills, and we are here to learn those this morning. Whether you're trying to improve communication with your spouse, kids, boss, or co-workers, learning these skills can deepen your connections to others, build greater trust and respect, and improve teamwork, problem solving, and your overall social and emotional health. I'm sure at the end of this session, we will be better communicators. I request our Assistant Governor, Rotarian Dr. James Thomas, Chainmaker President Rotarian Unnikrishnan, and Rotarians of Rotary Bangalore Sneha to invite all the friends of Rotary on this platform to join Rotary. I'm sure there are a lot of friends of Rotary on this platform who are spread over the other states of India as well. Dear friends, in just a minute before I end my initial talk, I would just say what's Rotary about. Rotary International is an organization of business and professional leaders who provide humanitarian service and help to build goodwill and peace in the world. Rotary has lasted about 116 years because of our strong ethics, our passion for service above self, and our unique approach to problem solving. And one of the greatest strengths of Rotary is how we reach across our communities and across national, ethnic, religious, and political divisions to unite people of all denominations and different cultural backgrounds, like what Dr. James and Unni have done this morning. I urge and request all the friends of Rotary on this platform to kindly join Rotary. Rotarians are people of action, and let us show that Rotarians and Rotary cares for others. I would welcome all of you to Rotary. For more details on Rotary, kindly contact Rotarian Dr. James Thomas and Rotarian Unni Krishan and see to that you join our Rotary family. Thank you, dear friends. Thank you, Doc, for this wonderful opportunity, and thank you, Thomas and Unni Krishan, for giving me this opportunity to be part of this wonderful workshop. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day and a happy learning.
Thank you, DG Fazal Mahmood, sir. Thank you for your wonderful, inaugural address. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Governor. All the best at Rotary Bangalore IT Corridor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let me call upon our Charter President, Dr. S. Nityanila, to introduce our resource person, PDG Rotarian Dr. Samir Hariani. Over to you, Dr. S. Nityanila.
Thank you. Thank you, James, for giving me the great privilege of introducing one of the most versatile personality of our Rotary District 3190, Dr. Samir Hariani. I am very happy to introduce him. Rotarian Dr. Samir Hariani, born in Mumbai to late Mr. Satish Hariani and Mrs. Leena Hariani. He completed his entire schooling and higher education at Bengaluru. He holds a Bachelor of Dental Surgery degree and a postgraduate certificate program in endodontics. He is married to Rotarian Dr. Rupa Hariani, a dental surgeon, and also a certified IATD and POSH trainer. She is an active Rotarian and past president of Innerville Club of Bangalore, Southwest. The couple are blessed with twin sons, Pratik Hariani and Rohan Hariani. I had mentioned earlier that he is the most versatile personality of our district. Now I'll list out some of his roles, then you will understand. Dr. Samir Hariani is the CEO of TSMT Academy. He is a dentist by qualification and profession, and also runs a successful multi-speciality clinic, Dazzle, the one-stop dental clinic. He is a director at Dazzle OnStream Private Limited. And Dr. Samir Hariani is also a successful trainer, digital coach, anchor, MC, sports commentator, voiceover, and auctioneer. There's still more to come. I think we have to, the whole program will be only on that. Then he is a faculty trainer for Rotary Leadership Institute RID 3190. He is an active member of Rotary Bangalore Southwest since July 1998. He was a very successful centennial president of his home club during Rotary Centennial year 2004-5. He has received the Champion of Champion Awards and the Compassionate Service Award. Dr. Samir Hariani has also served on committees of Rotary Zone Institutes and Rotary India Literary Summits since 2012, along with various roles he performed in the District 3190 from time to time. He is currently serving as member of Young Past Governors Committee of Rotary International for Rotary year 2021-22, Ambassador Zone 7 Girl Empowerment Task Force for Rotary International for the year 2021-22. He is also the chairman for entertainment for Rotary Zonal Institute for the year 2021-22 at Mahabalipuram. Dr. Samir Hariani was elected unopposed to lead Rotary District 3190 as District Governor for the Rotary year 2019-20, and during his governorship, the district has won 6 top awards in the zone. With heartfelt pride, I can say that I am Dr. Samir's Dazzler President during the year 1920, and we had the great privilege of serving under him excellently. And I'm till now I carry so much of happy memories regarding on that year. And no one else is more apt to speak about the importance of communication skills. So you all will understand at the end of the program, because none of us will miss out Dr. Samir's program on any cost, because such an excellent speaker and orator, and you will know the importance of communication when he speaks. So at the end of the program, you will understand what I say. So with great pride and honor, I here present Dr. Samir Hariani. Over to Dr. Samir. Thank you, James.
Thank you, Dr. S. Nithlila, our charter president. Thank you for that wonderful, introduction about our presenter, Dr. Samir Hariani. Over to Dr. Samir Hariani. Sir, you will have about 60 minutes. After that, we will have a question and answer session for 5 minutes, and we could end the session by 12:30.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. At the outset, big thank you to my dazzler president, Dr. Nithlila S. I mean, it was a pleasant surprise that to have you introduce me, and I couldn't think of anybody more apt than that. Just one small correction. You did not serve under or this thing. We worked together, we connected together, and we served together. So nobody is above, nobody is below. We are all equals in Rotary, and we always work together. And that connect led to so many opportunities that now we are together serving to change lives. Well, District Governor Fazal Mahmood, President Uni Krishnan, and members of Rotary Bangalore Sneha, Assistant Governor and moderator of this wonderful session, Dr. James Thomas, members of MSW Socialites, Counseling.pro.com, the alumni of the universities that are connected, and of course the University of Mysore, all my wonderful friends in Rotary, my wonderful friends off Rotary. I can see quite a few road tractors, intractors, and everybody else from the Rotary fraternity over here. It's so wonderful to be here again and connect with all of you. And I thank Rotary Bangalore Sneha, MSW Socialites, the Alumni Association, the universities, and CounselingPro.com for arranging such an important seminar this Saturday morning. The effective communication skills, as they say, definitely a first step to success. So I'm really glad to be here amongst all of you and to be here with you to share in the next 60 minutes, as Dr. James said, certain effective tips, tricks, maybe suggestions, maybe some ideations of how to make communications more effective. But before doing that, I would like to try my hand at a bit of communication right now. Those of you who are in Rotary are very, very, aware of this wonderful abbreviation. Our Rotary International President, the proud Indians today are so happy that we have, in the 118-year history of Rotary, only the 4th Indian to become the international president. So he has given us a very simple and effective communication. He says Rotary needs to do more, and to do more, we need to grow more. So his simple funda for that has been communicated to us is EOBO. In 4 letters, he has summarized what we can do to achieve do more and grow more. That is, each one bring one. Now, if 1.2 million of us each bring one, we become straight from 1.2 to 2.4. So I also have a simple abbreviation for the next 55, 60 minutes before we go into the Q&A. It is VOAO. Now, you know what VOAO abbreviation is? It's video on, audio off. Okay, I would love to see all the participants. Unless you have certain bandwidth issues, please keep your videos on so that I can see more and more faces and connect with more and more people. But yes, we do not want any disturbance in the flow of the program. So keep your audio off. And with the permission of the moderator, I will right now actually remove. Is that okay, Dr. James? I'm removing the permission to participants to unmute. Only
Please.
The host and co-host can unmute. If you want anybody else to speak, you can make them co-host, Dr. James. The only reason to do that is sometimes by mistake we unmute, by our finger presses unmute while we are driving or we are working, and the flow gets interrupted due to some background noise. So VOAO, we are going to keep our videos on, we're going to keep our audios off, we're going to see each other, we're going to communicate right now visually, and then after the 55, 60 minutes, we will have a Q&A where we can go ahead and communicate vocally as well. Also, the chat box is open. Do park your questions for later. As Dr. James said, I'd like to have a lot of engagement and a lot of interaction, but due to the paucity of time and the larger numbers, we will keep minimal interaction for now, and we will later on open for questions. So if you have any questions, park them, keep them ready, type them in the chat box later, and we will take the Q&A later. So I hope I have been pretty effective in this simple but initial connection on communication. So thank you once again. Good morning, everybody. We are here at communication skills, or rather effective communication skills, the first step to success. Now, I want to know whether my first communication went through successfully to the 100 plus of you over here. So if you got what I communicated, in the reactions window, there is a thumbs up sign. So I want to see as many thumbs ups come up in the next few seconds. Go to the reactions and click on the thumbs up, and I will know that I have been able to communicate a few simple lines. Fantastic. I can see such great active students, participants, Rotarians, Rotractors, Interactors, alumni, people from different parts of India, and I saw a couple of them from out of India as well. Fantastic. So we are all on sync. We're all in a thumbs up mode, and we're all good to go. So like I said, minimal interactions, but we are talking so much about this communication skills, very effective. Our governor gave us so many reasons why we need to be good communicators. And our governor, Fazal by Mahmood, is a fantastic communicator himself. And he has given us such apt reasons why we need to communicate well. What I'm going to do now in the chat box is I'm going to type one link. And I'm hoping that many of you are on good devices. Ideally, if you're on computers, it's fantastic. But even tablets, mobiles, or anything else, I'm going to give you a link in the chat box. When you click on that link, okay, when you click on that link, it will take you to a new browser window. In that browser window, you will have one small box. There'll be a question and says, list one instance or list an instance where you feel effective communication is needed, or where you feel that effective communication is important. Okay, so fill in that box, type in your answer, and just submit. And when you submit, you'll get a nice heart as a thank you, and we will capture that submission. And I want to see what people have in mind when they talk about which instance or where effective communication is needed. So keep looking out in the chat box. Right now, one link is coming there. So that link, click on it. It will open a separate browser window. In that browser window, in that box given, type your one answer and submit. Okay, and we will see what are the kind of responses we have got. So let me just move away from here. Now you can still see me, but I have moved out of the lamplight. But we have something else coming up, and that something else, I presume, is going to be in what. Let me see how many people have already answered. We will give some time. In what instances are effective communication skills required? Managing people, productivity. So 2 answers have already come up. Let's give them some more time. Let's give them some more time. Let's see how many people answer. Very simple funda. Type one answer, one sentence, one word. What instances do you feel that effective communications are required? Okay, let me see if I've got more answers now. This is just to keep you engaged. As I said, most of the activities, most of the communications are always interactive, engaging. Most of our sessions are, but today we are keeping it. Nageshwar Vijapur, you're putting it in the chat box. Thank you so much. Click on that link and put it in this window, which is coming up. Let me see if more answers have come up. So Nageshwar Vijapur is a great convincer himself. Look, so many answers have come up now. He convinces anybody to do anything, especially when it comes to entertainment and great activities related to your own organization. Look at the answers. Interacting with managers, spoken like a true working professional, communicating with others, instruction to your subordinate, yes, in all transactions, in teaching, in managing people, everywhere. Somebody is bang on the dot. You need communication everywhere. And we will see that in the next poll that I will do. Positive connectivity, professional life, workplace and college, at workplace, to show professionalism in life. Yes, you heard our governor give you so many reasons. You heard Dr. James also give you so many reasons. In a relationship, trust me, my wife gave me a dialogue this morning. You need to be a good communicator with your wife. If husband and wife don't communicate well, then in life, it's not a happy life. So good communication in a relationship. I think somebody faced the same thing this Saturday morning, just like I did, in almost every aspect. Yes, fantastic answers. Okay, I'm going to give a last refresh to my last refresh. Intra communication. Yes, Satya. Intra, intro, outro, everywhere. So see what is highlighted right in the center. The biggest word that has come in the center is everywhere. The bottom line is you need to be an effective communicator in every sphere of life and in every aspect of life. So now I'm sure the next poll that I'm going to put up in the chat box is going to be very easy to answer. And I hope 100% of you get it right, because this is just going to give you 4 random options. Okay. This is going to give you 4 random options. Yes, Jitenshwari, public speaking, very important. I'm going to cover that a bit later in my presentation. I'm going to give you 4 random options. These are just general random options. When you click on the next link that is coming in the chat box, again, you will go to another browser window. There are 4 random options. It's a multiple choice. Select your choice and let us see the chart as to what is the selection of our audience. Okay, it's going to ask, who is it amongst these people who needs to be an effective communicator? You've already answered many of it in the earlier question. Just give me a poll. I want to see my pie chart have a super bullseye hit. Let me see. So next link has come in the chat box. Click on it. You will go now to a MCQ. I think there are 4 or 5 options, but these are just random. This is just games that I play with my audience to try and get them engaged and occupied before I start boring them with my speech. No, that's just joking. Okay, let me see. I'm sure many of you have already given your answers. Let us see. The options given were speakers, professionals, homemakers, all of the above. Just like I said, random. Oh, look at that. 96% of you are bingo right now. 96% of you are bingo, on the money, on the dot. Okay. Who needs communication skills? All of us. Somebody answered in the previous one, everywhere. Okay. So let us see if more of you are now, the percentage increases. This was from around 48 people who had answered. Let's see. Now it is 59 people who have answered, and 93% of hit the bullseye. Of course, all of the above seems to have the highest. Professionals, 5% have voted. Speakers, 2% have voted. You're also right. But bottom line, in every sphere of life, in every aspect of life, each and every one needs communication and effective communication. So now, with that set as the undertone, I'm just going to briefly guide you through a bit of my presentation on communication, different types of communications, a few tips and tricks in the different types of communications, and of course, some last activity before we move on to the Q&A. So if you're good to go, again, I make myself minimum so that you can still see me and I can still see you. But I would like you to turn your eyes now on my screen, and I hope I'm visible, I'm audible. So we are talking about communication skills, the first step to success. This is a very, very popular and proven adage. No matter what job you have in life, as I said, even a homemaker, even a family man, even a retired person, even a child, even a senior citizen, no matter what job you have in life, your success will be determined just 5% by your academic credentials. So somebody read out my academics. Thank you for that. But honestly, 15% of my professional experience, 5% of my academic credentials have contributed. I'm not saying they're not important, they're very important, but the biggest contribution in your life, in whatever sphere you are, as determined by all of you already, is your communication skills. And that is why it is so apt and so important. And today's seminar is so wonderfully organized by the organizers of today. Effective communication skills, your first step to success. So let's dwell a bit more. We're talking so much about communication skills. Each of you gave so many examples, so many reasons why communication skills are needed. But in simple words, communication skills or effective communication skills is nothing but the ability to convey information to one another effectively and efficiently. As you said, whether it's to your subordinates, whether it is to your husband or your wife, or whether it is to people in your managerial level or your C-suite employees or your blue-collared employees, or anybody in college, your teachers, your students, whoever it is, in simple words, you need to have the ability to convey this information effectively and efficiently. So communication is one part. being effective and being efficient is the second part. So let's look at the benefits of these communication skills. You come across as a very professional person if you're a good and effective communicator. You build better personal and work relationships, which I'm sure all of you yourselves have understood and undermined. You are successful in your career or in your business dealings or in your profession. So that's one more good part of being a good communicator, is you escalate your career. You bond well, whether it's your family, your friends, your colleagues, you bond well with them if you're good in your communication. As Fazal Bhai said, minimizing conflict, that is the simplest way to bond well and enhance better camaraderie and friendship. So somebody said friendliness also in the answer. It breeds trust between employees. So you build a very trustworthy and a very dependable or a codependent kind of relationship. And of course, as Fazal Bhai says, reduces conflict. So these are certain benefits of effective communication. Application, all of you just now mentioned it, but I just want to broadly put it in three phases or three verticals. Public speaking. Now, you may be speaking publicly on an academic subject, or you may be a great motivational speaker like Dr. James. You may be somebody who has great knowledge like Dr. Nitya Leela, and you may be addressing a large audience at a public gathering, or it may be a technical or an academic presentation in your professional life. It may be at a family function where you're sharing certain emotions and histories, or like we heard about this wonderful member organization that gets together and serves of ourselves. It may be at social gatherings like a Rotary meeting or a Lions Club meeting or a roundtable meeting or your MSW Socialites meeting. I mean, at so many other social organizations that we are part of. But one more very important part in communicating is also the written communication, because today, let me tell you, most of the misunderstandings or the miscommunications are happening because the world is becoming less in person, less face-to-face and verbal, and more textual. We are communicating maximum on WhatsApp, email, Zoom, Meets, Google Meets, Teams, where we are not actually getting to meet in person. And sometimes what we write, what we type, if we don't do it effectively, gets misunderstood or miscommunicated. So the three types where you need to apply would be at public speaking occasions, at your professional persons, social meets, and when you write to people. Written communication is a totally different subject, and it's an elaborate one where we get into etiquettes of email, we get into etiquettes of texting and professionalism, etc. But I will be broaching mainly spoken communication or the face-to-face verbal kind of related communication. So when we talk of this, today I'm going to be focusing mainly on these two heads and those four subheads: the verbal and the non-verbal types of communication when it comes to in person or in social or in profession or in personal. And that would be divided into certain tips and ideas on speaking skills, very important ideas on listening skills. A very, very important aspect is the non-verbal part. She said, you listen to him, you'll feel nice. I would rather get the whole picture be a nice picture rather than just what I'm saying. And that involves a lot of my body language and my tone of voice. So there's this very popular Iranian scholar and psychologist, Dr. Albert Mehrabian. Just look at this. When we talk of personal communication, what we speak holds only 7% value. 38% is the voice or the tone or the pitch or the way we say it. But see, the most important part in communication, especially the verbal part of communication, it is 55% body language. So again, we spoke of communication skills. In this, body language and the way you come across or where people see you first up or the impression they get of you holds 55% weightage rather than what you actually say during that talk or whatever presentation you're making. So remember this rule, because we are going to be focusing on all this. So let's go to the 7% part, which is the verbal skills. And as I told you, while speaking is important, communication should be always two-way. And that's why I said our activities, our engagements, our sessions are invariably interactive, participative kind of sessions. We do it in the virtual medium also. Today, we cannot do it so elaborately, but in the future, I'm sure we'll get more and more opportunities to do it, in person and participate and engage with each other. So we will focus on the 7% part first, a few tips, a few ideas, a few suggestions. I'm sure you also have yours. Just add them on to what you already do. And that is speaking skills and listening skills. So when we talk of speaking skills, remember, it is the 7 C's of effective communication in speaking skills. Now, this is an image that I have taken from certain knowledge web portals. There are certain changes I would like to make, but I want to get across the message of these 7 C's in effective communication. Remember them whenever you communicate. One is be complete in your communication. Many a time, I find that the key message or the reason for the communication is lost out when we start communicating. So that's why the first C is be complete, or the completeness in communication. The second one, of course, we're going to see all of them next, is conciseness. So be concise, coherence, which is being coherent, clarity, which is being clear, concrete. So have your concrete substance, courtesy. Somebody already put in the chat box, be courteous in your communications and be correct in your communication. So I'm just going to go to each. So clarity, what better image than the lens? When we take a photograph, and today is the day of selfies and every possible Insta post and every possible Facebook story, and everybody wants the best image to go up on their social media. The same way, we want the clear message or the clear conveying of the idea to go out when we communicate. So when you focus, I see people who take 20 pictures before they're happy with the right one. Sarig bandila. I hope people understand Kannada. Sarig bandila, clear illa. Ayo, nan face hing bandide. Nan hair, kudl heg bandide. Mera baal, mere baal aise aaye hain. Main theek se nahi, mota lag raha hoon. All those things will come. So you want a very clear, precise picture, because when you're going to upload it, the world is going to be watching. So the same way, when we're communicating, please communicate your idea clearly. So have clarity, the first C in communication. And C, communication itself is with a C. The next one, be concise. That KISS principle works everywhere in life. In life, sorry. Keep it simple and short, or keep it simple, silly. We have people who tend to start with one thing and take off onto a tangent and spend hours on something which was not even related to what we wanted to communicate. So be concise. So the second C, keep it simple and short, be concise. The third C, be concrete. Again, we were talking about clarity in conveying the idea. So be focused on your idea. If you're talking about, I'm referring to myself. So if I deviate, give me one arrow. That be laser-like in focus on the subject that you're delivering. So be concrete in your substance, be concrete in your conveyance or your communication. The next one, be correct. As far as possible, try and get error-free information. I know today, somebody put, I'm a dental surgeon. So somebody put that today is the day of Dr. Google, or the day and age of Dr. Google. We have so many Google qualified doctors today who give even doctors gyan. So somebody put one nice joke in front of me, that there's a doctor standing and he has called his consultant of Google reference, and in front of the patient, he's asked him, sir, what is the diagnosis? And he has said, as per my search on Google, I feel this is the diagnosis and this is the solution. And the doctor is thanking that person. So we do a lot of research. We have access to so much information. There is so much fake news also around. So as far as possible, whatever resource you use, try and be correct in your communication. Use error-free information transformation. I know it's difficult because we have so many sources, and sometimes you wonder which is right. There's so many differentials that we get, but as far as possible, please be error-free in your information sharing and give the references whenever you can, so that you are justified in what you're sharing. The next one, be coherent. So your points need to be connected, they need to be relevant, they need to be logical. So I spoke of coherence. So please connect the points, keep the keep the flow, keep the right track on, stick to the relevance of the subject, as we said, don't deviate from the focus, and be logical. So this is one more of the 7 C's of the most important C, which is communication. complete. As I said in the beginning itself, in the previous slides, that sometimes we want, at the end of the day, the audience says, so what the hell just happened? What was this whole thing about? I don't even know why we had this talk. I hope you don't say that today to Dr. James, but be complete and include all the information that you wanted to impart and complete your presentation, so that there's a takeaway. There's something the people gained out of what you communicated to them. There was a key point or a core idea or substance that you mentioned. So one more very important C that you need to keep in mind. But most of my friends, in fact, one of my friends, can you believe, WhatsApped me this after they saw Dr. James and Rotary Bangalore Sneha's poster. They said, you're a good communicator, we know, but please stress on this point. Trust me, I have not added this slide. After they said that, I had this slide. We need to be courteous in our ways and means today in world. In the world today, there is so many reasons for conflict. There are so many reasons for mistrust. There's so many reasons which lead to, unnecessary disputes. But we, especially in an organization like Rotary, or in the organizations who are, organizing today's seminar, because they're all, end of the day, universities, there are organizations who are imparting knowledge and sharing knowledge. You need to be empathetic. You need to be friendly. You need to be open and honest. So please be courteous in your communications, whoever it may be. It may be somebody way, way junior than you, maybe somebody way, way senior than you, maybe your own children, grandchildren, anybody in life, maybe your driver, your security guard. When you communicate, please remember to be courteous. This, I feel, is the most important C. And I think that's why the next one I put immediately after this is an important do to keep in mind. I'm just going to share a few do's and don'ts in communication. An important do to keep in mind. I know many of you are top professionals here. You may be teachers, trainers, bosses, CEOs, MDs, you may be team leads from various organizations. And many a time you find that one in your organization or two or three in one of your teams are not doing things or are not, conducting the expected work as you wanted. So you need to give them a feedback. But rather than being brutally honest to them, this is one I wanted to put immediately after being courteous and empathetic, is one of the best ways of giving feedback. And this is known as the sandwich technique. And this is a very, very, very effective way of giving feedback. That is, in simple words, call them or call him or her, give them a lot of positives of what they have brought to their organization. During that positive feedback that you're giving about that person or that team, subtly get across the message of what is going wrong or what is not being delivered, but again end with positivity, with encouragement, and with certain messages which will keep them more positive going forward, but will very much remember the negative that you pointed out or the problem or the fault that you pointed out. So this I just showed because what happens today I've seen is when somebody is going wrong, the first thing that you want to do is pick up the phone or call them or text them and just blast them across the, across the table or across the room, which I don't think is something very, very effective when we communicate. So do give feedback, take feedback, but do it in the sandwich technique where it is merged or it's cutletted between two buns of positivity. Okay, so just remember this do when we talk of being friendly and being courteous. Another do that I wanted to share with you is many of us say, Nam ashtu olle English barala, ashtu chanag Kannada barala, I am not a good speaker, mere ko itna bhasha nahi aata hai. There is no universal language. Yes, there is a language of the heart. There is a language of, the relationship. But let us not forget that you need to have a bit of knowledge on spoken language. So if you find a challenge in your spoken language, whether it's in English, Kannada, Hindi, Gujarati, Marathi, whichever language is the language medium of choice in where you work or which state or which city you stay, make an effort to improve on your vocabulary. It helps, trust me. Some of the best communicators are the ones who have a good grasp of the language that they speak in. And understanding that this is not my strength is the first thing that you identify. and then taking action on improving that weakness and making it a strength is definitely a great thing to do. And keep in mind that you can improve on vocabulary, and that is something that you should do whichever language you speak in. Don'ts. First thing that comes in our mind when somebody criticizes us or says something to us, chides us, pulls us up for something we have done wrong, is we react. Please do not react, respond. Because what is the first thing to do? The first thing is you react back, you shout back, you fight back. I believe in that, count to 10 theory, or drink a sip of water, or close your eyes, like Dr. James said in the beginning, for peace and for praying that, this bad times go away. Do exactly the same thing. Whenever you are caught in a situation where somebody's criticized you or chided you, or, there's some rage being exchanged, especially nowadays in Bangalore traffic, the road rages. Do not react, respond to communication. And the best way is take a step back, take a few deep breaths, count to 10, drink a sip of water, whichever is possible in the situation, and then respond and see the difference. Don't immediately go, hey, don't get into that kind of muddy slung, as we say. So this is one more don't that I want you to keep in mind, especially when you reach situations of conflict or situation where there is some disagreement. Next one, please avoid controversial topics. As I said, today is a day and age of free speech, free expression, free news, fake news, anything and everything. I mean, we are today the fastest spreaders of anything viral. Not as, the COVID and coronavirus does not spread as fast as the way we spread information and misinformation. So please avoid controversial topics, because we all want better goodwill, understanding, peace in the world. Please avoid controversial topics, whether it's to do with religion, whether it's to do with gender, whether it's to do with language, whether it's to do with anything. Please avoid any controversial topics. That one is a great tip for being an effective communicator, because if you communicate non-controversial, positive messages and positive topics, whether you speak, WhatsApp, type, upload on social media, that will make you a great communicator and effective communicator as well. The next one, no jokes at the expenses of others, and very important in office culture. I keep telling my children also and my colleagues also, when they say, hey, joke tha yaar, am I laughing? No. If the other person is not laughing with you, then it's not a joke. So please avoid any jokes at the expense of others, because you never know which joke or which message hits the wrong nerve, because you may not know the reasons for those problems. So please, no jokes at the expense of others. Even when you're making public speeches or public oratory, sessions, when you're talking to large gatherings of people, sometimes people take a dig at one character of one religion, or take a dig at one character of any particular company or something. Do not. No jokes at the expense of others. So these are the few do's and don'ts that I wanted to bring across when you are communicating in the verbal part of your communication. The second part, as you know, the art of listening is as important as the art of speaking. Because if you're not a good listener, since I'm a male, all wives will agree with me that husbands don't listen well. I'm going back to the husband and wife joke, because I've had one incident this morning itself, and she very conveniently used this topic of the day today as a, this thing to get her message across, that please tell all those who are there in the audience today, be a good listener. Don't be like my husband who's not a good listener, she said. Please do communicate. So active listening is something that we all should really adapt, and we really should adopt, because just imagine yourself in that situation. Now you're talking, communicating. You have taken so many pains, aches to get across a presentation and to get across to convey that message. And somebody is actually sitting down and just texting away to glory there, or looking at their mobile and not even looking towards you, or looking at their time and, hunting. So active listening is something which makes you also a good communicator, because when somebody else is talking, you're listening. Trust me, when you talk, others will also listen if you are a good listener yourself. Again, the most important thing in communication is also to hear what is not being said. Sometimes there's a message delivered in what is not being said as well. And this is from Peter Drucker. And if you don't listen, you may miss out on the key message or the key understatement that was made by that person who is speaking. So a few more tips, as I said, to be a good listener. When you are in a closed communication with a smaller group, do lean forward and nod when the person is speaking. So they feel, okay, I've got at least his or her attention and they are listening to what I am saying. So that's the first tip of listening, leaning forward. That's a connect. When you make a step forward, that person reciprocates with a step back to you itself, and that speaker instantly connects with you. The next step in good listening is no interrupting till the end. Try and let the speaker have their say, and you can actually go ahead and, as I said, park all your questions at the end. So there's no disturbance to the speaker. You listen to the speaker without interruptions. You don't, tend to, if there is an interruption, you will lose connect and then you will drift away, and then coming back after drifting is again a bit difficult. The next one, meet the eyes of the speaker. Why I ask for videos on is I'm looking into a pinhole, but I know that 100 plus pinholes are looking back at me. But when you're at an audience, trust me, when you make, that eye connect, or when you meet the eyes of each other, whether you're a speaker or a listener, it leads to a different kind of communication itself. Sometimes that builds up into a professional relation, sometimes a social relation. A lot of friendship builds up just by connecting eyes with a speaker, being a speaker or a listener, whichever way. Okay, and acknowledge. People like to get acknowledged. I'm not saying that you go out of your way to go, oh, wow, no. But acknowledge, maybe with a nod or with a thumbs up or with a prod, that yes, this is something which you're making sense in. So do react in this case, or respond with an acknowledgement and not in the conflict situation. So these are a few tips on active listening that I wanted to share, because that is also a very, very effective part of communication. Now coming to the non-verbal part, as you saw, 7%, 38%, and then 55% was what we were looking at, body language. Today, how the person perceives you when they see you, when they meet you, when they see you up on stage, or even when they see you in this virtual platform, a lot of it has to do. In fact, as we saw Dr. Albert Mehrbyan's, 55% of that perspection is through your body language that you get across, the way they catch you as an overall presented speaker. So as we come back again, eye-to-eye contact. We have certain tips and tricks when we talk about public speaking. Of course, I can't go into depth. Each of these is a subject itself. What I'm covering today are just extracts. Each of these is a subject in themselves, and we can learn them. We can go through them, browse them, and then implement and practice them. And they become a habit or a day-to-day aspect of our lives. So we have, even when you're addressing thousands of people, we have certain exercises where you can get into eye-to-eye contact with sections of the crowd, and all that is covered when we go and delve into public speaking. So remember, eye-to-eye contact is one of the best ways of establishing a communication or a connect, and whether you're a speaker or a listener again. The next one is your facial expression. Now, today my wife, like I said, I'm using that as an example. I could have gone to work, or I could have come here with fear, contempt, disgust, anger, sadness. But if somebody sees you like this in office, you know what happens? And especially if you're a key person in that office, or even one person in a group, it is contagious. Negativity spreads faster, or even these kind of, emotions or feelings spread faster than the positive feelings. So please remember, when you walk into a room, whether it is to address a gathering, whether it's to address your team, whether it is your colleagues, whether it's your students, whether it's your boss, walk in with this. They keep saying, again, I come from a dental fraternity. So for a dentist, the smile is everything. And smiles are free. Please spread them. You don't lose anything. Please keep smiling, whatever may be at the back of your mind, whatever may be in the previous part of the day, in your morning, your afternoon, whatever may have happened. Keep that aside. Don't let that affect your communication and your connect with your co-workers or your colleagues. A smile will not only change your mood, maybe their mood will improve your day and make that the best day, which may have priorly been a bad day. So remember, keep smiling. Facial expression. Hand gestures, very important, especially in this kind of platform. You see, sometimes people think that, I've got some itchiness in my hand, I'm moving it so much. No, hand gestures communicate a lot. When I'm saying something to you or I'm taking something for you, this action itself answers, communicates what I'm trying to say. I'm saying something to you, but my hand gesture itself said that. Or I'm receiving something from you, my hand gesture itself said that. So use hand gestures in your body language, in your communication, and always keep the positive ones. Again, as I said, we dwell on this even more in detail when we get into communication sessions. So hand gestures are very, very important in your day-to-day communication, whichever aspect of your personal, professional, or social life that you're using it. The next one, posture. This is very important in today's day and age, more so because 90% of the time, just to take an example, I know Dr. James and the others who work out of the virtual technology, including my academy now, we are 8 to 9 hours in front of a system. So we need to be very, very careful of our posture, not only for the ill health, even to get across the picture or the message that we want to get across. If you are somebody who has a good posture, and I've given you just certain illustrations of a good posture, both from the aspect of health, physical and otherwise, and also from getting across the message to your recipient or whoever is listening to you. A good posture says a lot. It shows confidence. It shows somebody who's very well organized. It shows, for example, now I'm trying to do eye-to-eye contact. So my computer is placed exactly like how you're seeing in that picture. It's on a stand with an angle with the camera right at my eye level, so that I just have to look straight and I'm looking at all of you. The same way, when you're with your audience, do not slouch, do not put your hand in your pocket, do not have a tilt. I know Amitabh's posture gets a lot of applaud when he does hey like this, but that's a different story. But I'm just telling you, when you're communicating, especially business related communications or social related speeches, please come with a good posture. It adds super value to your communication. Let's see what else is there. Yes, personal space. Today, I think this diagram should be changed. This diagram is pre-corona days. It is ideally a 1 arm's distance. We do have certain people who tend to come and cling with you. They come and they literally talk into your face or come and hold your hand and pull you and stick to you. We call them the leads. Please, if you want space, you also give space. So remember, everybody deserves that radius of personal space. When your body language gives them that space, you will get that space back. Take a step forward, they'll take a step towards you. Keep an arm length distance with them, they'll keep an arm length distance with you. Do not cling on anybody. Don't push your face into their face. Don't go and catch them like that. And of course, today the government says social distancing, 3 meters, 2 meters, whatever, for COVID reasons. So today, I think this diagram would be keep more space between each other. But for effective communication, give and take personal space. You will be appreciated and people will like your communication style much better. The tone of the voice. We keep coming back to this. We need to be courteous. We need to be friendly. I can still see Shreya Mishra had said friendliness. So keep a friendly, calm, confident tone of the voice. Do not, intonate something which comes across as being very unfriendly or somebody very distressed or lack of confidence. One trait I will give you. Inside, you may be having butterflies, you may be shivering, you may be shaking. Outside, here you fake it. Trust me, here you fake it. Act that you have the best of confidence, even if inside you're crapping bricks, as they say. But please come across as calm, friendly, and confident. It really helps. Again, I'll give you certain tips on that in the next part. And that is the voice modulation. This is, again, a very key factor in communication, is how you modulate depending on what you're communicating. So we have these 6 very important parts of voice modulation, which is the energy that you bring into your presentation, the stress, the rhythm, the pitch, the pace, and the pause, as they say. So let's see the first one. Energy is the force with which you're making the presentation. And for this, there's one simple secret, that is moderation is the key. Now imagine if somebody is shouting from rooftops or shouting into the microphone or screaming across. That's what you'll get. The first diagram is somebody holding their head that, ತಲೆನೋವು ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ರಪ್ಪ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಎತ್ತೋ ಸರ್ಮೆ ದರದ್ ಇದೆಯಾ. So do not be a headache to people. Do not, you need sometimes to, raise your voice for certain reasons, but don't continuously talk at, at that raised shouting pitch. Like sometimes it looks, as if you're fighting, as they say. Moderate it according to the need. The second diagram is don't be the reverse, that talk so softly that the person actually falls asleep. So use the force in your voice as is required. I'm not going to go into each detail. That's 12 to 14-hour session of our public speaking, but I'm just giving you the important pointers. Stress, as I said, emphasis. So highlight important words by stressing on them. And it says, give a demo here. So let me just tell you, I use this one sentence very often as an example. There's a simple sentence which says, I want to have pizza today. Okay, that's my sentence. Now, this same sentence, I can stress on different words, and the meaning of the sentence, though primarily the same, it will change the, what do you say, the situation in which it has been said. For example, I want to have pizzas today. So the stress is on want. That means come what may, I want pizza. I mean, I want. That's the stress. I just change the stress on the next word. I want to have pizza today. That means I don't want, paneer butter masala. I don't want butter naan. I want pizza only. So my stress is on the item that I want. So the same sentence, but the stress was on pizza. Earlier, the stress was on want. That means I want something. And then I want to have pizza today. When I stress on today, it is today, not tomorrow, not yesterday, not later. It is just today. So a simple demo I am giving is that if we stress on the word which is important, and if we stress on that, people will understand what is the point or the takeaway of importance from here. So this is one more part, the stress. The next one is the rhythm or the flow. Use a smooth flow of words when you speak. Try to avoid a lot of interruptions. Try avoid a lot of hesitations. A smooth flow, and this automatically happens when you have understood your subject well, when you have done your good preparation, which is again something that we cover in a lot of our public speaking modules. Pitch or intonation. Vary your voice to make your speech interesting. Don't, like I said, it's like the ECG. When the ECG is going up and down or modulating like that, you know that the person is alive. The same way, if your pitch and tone is also fluctuating like an ECG, that means your speech is alive, your passion is alive, the way you're communicating, you as a person or a speaker or communicator are alive, rather than being one drone, whether it's high or low. So vary it. Again, I bring this example across. I've just put this in my earlier presentation, which I'm sharing with you today. And this is to keep in mind what is happening today. So that sentence that you're seeing, just the two are examples of a high pitch and a low pitch. Like, how are we going to manage the rising COVID cases? So it's like frustration. It's like irritation because the cases are rising. So my pitch went high because the cases are rising. And then the depression in the next one, like, I really don't know where this will take. It's like helplessness, flustered, really disappointed, like, God, what is happening? So that low pitch showcases that you are helpless, you are flustered, and the high pitch shows that you are really, really worried, and you're in shock. So you can just vary the pitch or the tone of your voice to get across a simple example of your intonation. Again, pace and speed. Don't talk too fast, don't talk too slow, but there are certain situations where you need to do a mixture or a khichdi of both. One more example. First one, like, I'm in thought, like, I can't remember where I kept my keys. Oh, now I remember, I kept them on my dining table. So immediately my pace changed because I got a flash in my brain. First I was wondering, where did I keep my keys? So I was in slow. And suddenly here I remembered where I got my keys. So where I kept my keys. So it became fast. So these are examples that many times in your speech or in your communication, you may need to actually, get across to vary your pace as and when required, depending on the situation. And then one more thing is, sometimes you want to deliver a key message. And the best way to deliver that key message is to stop speaking. Pause. And a pause after a very subtle and key message or a very important message allows it to sink in. to the people who are listening. And if you see the great speakers, they really know when to give that pause. Don't give a pause after every sentence. It'll totally dilute it. But if you see some of the best speakers, and nowadays, I think the biggest examples given are of our own Prime Minister. So if you see the way all these aspects of, points that I was sharing with you, a lot of them, if you see, are there in part of the oration of our own Prime Minister. And you find that he does a lot of these changes and uses a lot of these factors and keys in his communication. So the last and final, many of us are affected by what we call as verbal garbage. And it is not conscious. It is subconscious. We don't even know we are doing it. People have this, I don't know if you've noticed, many people have this habit in their speech where they start going, okay, after every sentence, or they say, or they say, okay. And if you see them repeating that word again and again, trust me, they may not even know that they're doing it. You will notice it, but they may not know it. So make an effort to get rid of these fillers, what we call verbal garbage. And the best way to do it is record yourself in a mobile phone. Today, the mobile phones are one of the best gadgets we have for any exercise. Just record yourself speaking or any speech that you've prepared, and notice if you're using fillers like, okay, or you know what. There you'll find different things that come out of your mouth at different situations, and make a conscious effort to actually eliminate them. And finally, as I told you, I think I'm pretty much on my time. Different styles of communication. I will read out these examples to you, and then we'll have an exercise in the chat box where each of you are going to give me answers to what comes up on the screen. So the different styles that we have or we see of communication broadly are: first, passive; second, aggressive; third one, passive aggressive; and the final one, assertive. I will just highlight these for you. Passive is somebody who's really indifferent, very meek, fails to express, yields very easily to others just to avoid confrontation. Because they don't want to say no, because they're scared, they may be subdued, they may be meek. So they just say no to get away from the situation. They lack eye contact. They have poor body language. Their mentality is, I don't care much. I don't want conflict. So best is run away from it. And just a picture to show, the boss is blasting away and the meek person is just bowing his head and leaving. So this is very passive. It's not a good way to be, or a good example, but it's a fact that it's there. So this is just to showcase to you what is a passive mode of communication. The next one is exactly the opposite: aggressive. Now you have a lot of aggressive people. You may be an aggressive person yourself if you're a boss or if you're a leader or whatever. So you may be demanding, you may be dominating, you may be speaking in a loud voice, you may be blaming, criticizing, threatening all the time. And this again is not a very nice way of communicating. Being intense in your eye contact, showing them that glare of anger, or sometimes disrespecting them, just commanding them, being rude. I am right, you are wrong. It's my way or highway. I will get it my way at any cost. You are at fault, or you are a fool. I am the Mr. Know-all. This is aggressive. Again, not a very pleasant way, not a very right way to be a communicator. There you go. Shouting away at the poor soul for maybe no fault of his, for all you know. It's just images. I should give a disclaimer. The images used or the visuals that you see or what you hear are just examples and hold no relevance to anybody in real life or in person. Okay, so that's a fact. Passive aggressive. Now this is, again, I feel it sounds very nice that, okay, I'm passive, sometimes I'm aggressive. No, this nature or this form or style is actually the most dangerous type. Passive on the surface, but powerless inside. Very subtle, indirect, secretive. We don't want secretive people. We don't want people to hide and build up everything themselves, mutter to themselves, spread rumors about people, sabotage. They say that Narad Muni kelsa hinde inda ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. So they actually go around spoiling people's lives, without blowing them. And on their face, they're very nice. They be very cooperative, but actually they are not the kind of people you want in your life. So see that example. Sure, we can do this your way. Your way is the best. Bloody fellow doesn't know anything, you know, under the breath. So don't be passive aggressive. The best form or the best style to have in your communication. Okay, this is a picture of passive aggressive. Look at the smile, look at the handshake, but see what's behind the back. One chaku and one baseball bat. The moment you turn the other way, tuck, it's on to you. The best one to have is to be assertive. So you are direct, you're honest, you're respectful, you express your needs, thoughts, feelings openly. You do not violate the rights of others. You're considerate, you're empathetic. We saw in one of the slides, we need to be friendly, empathetic, understanding. All that is there in an assertively, type of communicator who gets across the messages, expresses what they desire, listens equally, active speaking and listening. We saw both of that. So I love my choices, but I respect yours too. So these are the examples of the types of communication that you'll get: passive, aggressive, passive aggressive. To a great extent, no, especially not passive aggressive. Be assertive in your effective style of communication. So the next few examples, just to check if all of you are still awake, they're going to come up on your screen. And what you need to do is, I'm going to read out a sentence and you're going to type in the chat box whether you feel if it's passive, whether it's aggressive, whether it's passive aggressive, or whether it is assertive. So let us see what is the example. Now, this is the assertive type, which leads to a very friendly and happy atmosphere, especially in your work life. All smiles around, everybody in agreement with each other, shared, debated, and came to the rightful conclusion. That is how effective leaders will come across. Here again are some good examples. One person on the top left picture, Amir Khan, very assertive. He knew his subject. He got it across in the right way. The other two were very passive. This gentleman was very, very dangerous because he was the passive aggressive. Outside, he showed that he's great, but he was behind your back, always trying to sabotage you. And finally, this gentleman, Viru Sarsa Buddhi, as you all know, was one of the most aggressive people, till he saw that being assertive and being aggressive are two totally different, effective ways of communicating. So now coming to this activity, please identify the different communication styles. Type in the chat box what you feel is the right answer, and we will see. I'm sure, seeing the knowledge of this audience, seeing the participant, we'll get majority correct references to that. The first sentence, just do what I say. Type in the chat box. Is this aggressive, passive, passive-aggressive, or assertive? Go ahead. Yes. Aggressive. I don't even need to look at the chat box. Everybody's got it. I told you, no? It's either my way or the highway. Everybody's getting yes, Swati. Yes, Sandy. Yes, Shivram. Yes, Uni. Everybody. No second thought. The moment I put a demanding, tone and a voice like that, just do what I say, I am a very aggressive communicator. Not a good trait to have, honestly. Next one. I will do whatever you say, Annadata. Nive namma devaru. Okay, so what do you think this is? Passive, Doc, Nitya Leela, yes. Yes, Rajni, fantastic. Shankar, Prashanti, Nageshwar, Natraj, lovely. Rashmi, Vikas, passive, yes. Somebody, we saw that picture, that poor guy had no say. His head was down as if, somebody is like literally on top of him. So I will do whatever you say. No. Why should I do whatever you say? Is it the right thing to do? Is it not? Let's discuss it. So you're right. Passive and surrendered. Exactly. Let's see the next one. I respect your decision, but please respect mine as well. That's the full sentence. I respect your decision, but please respect mine as well. Assertive. Fantastic. What a fantastic audience. What fantastic participation. Everybody, Shankar, Prashanti Prasad, Sangeeta, Narsiman, Biswajit, Biraj, Javed. Wonderful. Everybody. So you got the gist of what I'm trying to say. We saw a passive mode. We saw an aggressive mode. We saw an assertive mode. Come on. Few more examples for the last 2-3 minutes that I have been given. You are my boss and I will listen to you. Dr. James, ನೀವೇ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇವರು. ನೀವೇನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಬಗ್ಸ್ತೀವಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ. What do you think this is? Passive, passive, passive. Imagine the first answer was from Dr. Nitya Leela, who said passive in this sentence. Well done, Ganesh. Well done, Swati. Well done, everybody. Excellent. Quickly through the other ones now. Quickly through the other ones. Let's look at the next one. I want everybody to agree with my views. That's it. Full stop. I'm sure we know what that is. Aggressive. Yes, no doubt. I told you this audience is very well knowledge. This audience is fantastic. We are both right. We are both right. Come on, let me get some answers on this. They're still on the previous one. Assertive, Dipanshi, Uni, yes. Murthy had the right word, win-win. It has to be a win-win for all. Murthy, you're right. Excellent. Let's go to the next one. I am least bothered about your views. I am firm on my beliefs. No second thought. Everybody's got the answer for this as well. So I'm not waiting, just going ahead. This is how it will be done, and any counter arguments will not be entertained. Continuing on the same one. We have not yet come to that, Yakub. I know we are waiting for that. Even I'm waiting to see that one aspect. We have covered 3 aspects now. One aspect has not yet been covered, but coming up shortly on your screen. If you have a different view, it's okay. I will do what you say. We are still not there. I know you will get the right answer for this. This is again empathy, debate, understanding each other well. And this is again an assertive fine. Yes, Akshay. Perfect, Akshay. Now, the 10th is also the same. The 11th is also the same. Now coming to a topic where we are still looking for number 15. Can you please tell me number 15? You're so charming. Ayo, mukha nodamma. See the nose. Look at that horrible nose. What is this? This is danger, alarming, red flag, passive aggressive. Yes, Narsiman, Chetna, Yakub, you are waiting for this. Yes, Sangeeta. This is the most dangerous breed. The passive aggressive, where they are two-faced. Please be careful. One more just to close off. 100% you will win the competition. You are the best suited for the role. You are a champion at this. You know, I'm waiting when I can celebrate the loss or when they lose. So I think I just got in that subtle exercise. I got the message across to the different styles of communication, and the right way to be is, as all of you in popular demand mentioned it, and that is being assertive, where you're empathetic, friendly, open to debate, receive and give criticism in the right way, and then come to the best possible solution that is required. And as I was mentioning, that we have TSMT Academy, we have a simple tagline, we make you better than today. And just to give you one quick look, in our academy, we have, the new batches starting for many of the subjects that we have covered today. We have a trendsetter trainer, which is a train the trainer program. We have the ACE accountancy, because our parent company is an audit and assurance firm. So we teach a proper diploma in accountancy. A lot of what I covered today is covered in Star Speaker and Lucrative Leadership. In the chat box, I'm going to put a link to the Star Speaker program. You can just express your interest by giving your name, email ID, and phone number. And somebody from my academy will send out a mail. Our next batch is starting sometime end of September. If you want to learn in detail about public speaking, about leadership, about accountancy, about trendsetter trainer, please go to our website, tsmtacademy.com. There's just a sign-up form where you will just be added onto the interested list, and then we will share the curriculum, the dates, everything with you. If it is of interest to you, would love to see you. For example, Trendsetter Trainer is a 3-month program. Accountancy is a 3-month program. Star Speaker is a 6-week program or 6-weekend program. Lucrative Leadership is a 12-weekend program, just to give you a glimpse of what we do at TSMT Academy, because we believe in making you better than today for tomorrow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being part of today's wonderful program. Thank you to all the organizers for giving me an opportunity to just share some ideas, to share some excerpts, to share some snippets of what I feel are very, very important for effective communication which definitely is not only your first step, it's your permanent and future steps for, I've not yet given you that link, Swati, I'll share it with you. Go to tsmtacademy.com, but in short, basically for the star speaker, I'm just putting the link in the chat box right now. You can have a look at it, and I have enabled permissions to unmute, but I'll give it back to the moderator, Dr. James Thomas. If there are any questions and answers, in my best capacity, we'll be very, very happy to answer them. So please go ahead. Please go ahead. Dr. James has given you a feedback form, and this is, I've given you a link. tsmtacademy.com is our website. You'll find everything there. /star speaker is specifically the star program, the speaker program, trendsetter trainer, ace accountant, lucrative leadership, all of those are the new batches starting end September, or just maybe in the 3rd or 4th week. Over to you, Dr. James.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Samir Hariani. It was a very wonderful session. And let us take some of the questions. I think we don't have any questions in the chat box. If
James,
sir. Yes.
Nageshwar from City Center, sir.
Yes, please. Please go ahead and ask.
District Director, Club Service.
Yes, sir. Samir, sir. Actually, I am a big fan of you since beginning in the communication. And I just want to ask you, were you the same in the beginning itself, or have you learned things in between?
Okay.
Like,
so, in fact, this is the first question we ask in our leadership and star speaker session. Do you think that everybody is a born speaker or a born communicator or a born leader? Trust me, each one of you, and I was going to tell you, Nageshwar, if you're a big fan of mine, I'm equally a big fan of yours, because there are certain things of yours that I totally, totally admire. And you will also agree with me, so will the others. Each one of us has this inherent talent, and some of us may have a little more than the others. All you need to do is hone them, or polish them and bring them out. And that is why we say we try to make you better than today for tomorrow. Even if you look at a diamond is not born a diamond. It comes out of coal. You have to, chemicalize it or whatever. You need to follow the due process. And once you polish it is only when you get the diamond. So each and every person is a diamond in communication, in speaking, in leadership. You just need to hone certain aspects, bring out those skills, and then master them. And the best way to master them is DIY. That is, do it yourself. Learn. If you have learned something earlier and which you feel is holding you back, unlearn, relearn, and then go ahead and practice. So my first, I didn't share this, Nageshwar, but since you brought it up, I started my first event as an MC on stage in 1991, when I was in my first year of dental college. And I was, in my college day with my college friends, I was speaking so well and all. They said, hey, ನೀವೇ MC ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಪ್ಪ ನಮ್ಮ college program ಗೆ ಇಂಟರ್ ಕಾಲೇಜೆಟ್ ಕಾಂಪಿಟಿಷನ್ ಇದೆ, ನೀವೇ ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲೇ MC ಆಗಬೇಕು, moderator, anchor ಆಗಬೇಕು. Can you believe I went on stage, I stood in front of the mic and I said, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Intercollegiate Fashion Show 1991 today. And my mind went blank. I forgot which day we were on, what date, what time. And there were 500 people in the audience. It was actually a Sunday, 3:30 in the afternoon. Today, this wonderful day. Today, this wonderful day. Today, this wonderful day. You know what audience said? Hey, Tagiyappa Ivarna, get out of the stage. Boo, boo, boo. All that started. My principal came from behind and said, hey, Sunday, 3:30. Hello, Sunday. So that was my first experience. And after that, I have today finished around 1,000 plus events. And it just became a habit because I practiced, learned. Simple as that.
Congratulations, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nageshwar. Anybody else? We'll take one more question.
Yeah. Sir, Samir, sir, this is a very wonderful session what we gone through today.
How are you,
But
Narsimhan,
it happens when we go in front of the public, we lack of the words, and whatever is it, we'll forget sometimes. What is the exact reason? Whether our subconscious mind, is not allowing to us to talk to these people. What is the exact is going to a human being? Really, I'm not able to figure out sometimes, because we are normal, we're able to speak, but we go in front of the people, suddenly it will blank sometimes. Though you prepare very well and you want to give a good talk, but sometimes you get stuck.
Narsimhan sir,
Tell me,
let me give you an answer and firstly tell you, you're not alone. What you expressed, can you believe, if you, I'm not sure if Google still gives this response. Again, I'm not a Google doctor, but if you actually search the greatest fear that people have in the world, even greater than the fear of death, is the fear of public speaking or speaking in front of an audience. It is known as glossophobia, the tongue tied, as you said, the lack of flow in the mind. The words don't come by but aache barta illa, the way they say, So 75% of the world suffers from this glossophobia or stage fright or fear of public speaking. And I'll give you two big names, which will tell you that you and me are not alone. The first name is our own father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi. He had a huge glossophobia. And primarily, first, that was one of his reasons for not going into social functions, because he would be asked to speak and he was scared of speaking in front of people. And it's only after that, he developed it, honed it, got over that fear, that what kind of speeches he made, which actually revolutionized and changed the world. And the second most popular name that I'll give you, I don't know if you've heard of Warren Buffett. If you've heard of Warren Buffett, the richest investor or one of the wealthiest men in the world, he has openly admitted he had glossophobia. He took public speaking sessions to get over glossophobia. So 75% of the people face this. That's why I said it is there. It is inherent. You just need to bring it out, hone it, develop it, practice it. And it's like any other habit. Belige edda takshana brush ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. This becomes like brushing your teeth once you have got in that or got over that initial fear. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We are coming to the end of the session today. I would like any of the participants to give a feedback. Any volunteers?
So we can have an online feedback. That for feedback link of yours, I don't think it is.
No, that's not working.
It's not working because maybe you have put some privatization restrictions.
Okay, this is Jacob. This is Jacob. I would like to give speak a sentence that
Yes,
communication can be in a reasonably extended manner can cover a week's time, but in 1 hour time, Dr. Samir has given especially the part which each person should imbibe and do during the work. There is a lot of science that goes behind, but the what you call the practical tips he has given, and that's very useful. And thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Jakub. In fact, I'll confess one thing, Jakub. I was seeing a gallery mode here, and when I was in my presentation mode, I was seeing only a few thumbnails. Your thumbnail was one of the most prominent ones on my screen.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, you were taking notes also.
Right.
Yes.
Right, Jakub? Fantastic.
Yes,
I
I
really
was.
appreciate that. In fact, there was one more gentleman who I saw very sincerely taking notes. It's really, that's what I said. If you want to learn, there's so many ways. You can record yourself, you can watch other people, you can learn from, we have access to so much information. I think another gentleman who I saw continuously taking notes, I don't know if it was Aip Verghese. I don't know if Aip Verghese also was noting down. Verghese sir, were you also noting down something? I saw you writing a few things in between.
Some of the points.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you. So that's really rare. That, like I said, see, effective communicating is two-way. Speaker is one side, listener. Now I connected, I saw you writing, that gave me more confidence. The same way when you do it, that's why I said active listening is equally important as active speaking as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jacob. Mr. Jacob is the Senior Vice President HR from Mysore. Thank you for your feedback. And
James, I just
yes,
wanted to share my views here.
Yes, sir.
Actually, Dr. Samir was saying that 65% body language, it is really very true. Because we are dealing with employees, thousands of employees, they will be always observing what the senior people or the supervisor or manager, how they speak, what is that they are going to say, all that. Body language plays a vital role in the communication.
Right.
And it was really a very nice session. There is still a lot of things to learn. Even with 40 years experience, we are still learning, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
you,
you,
Mr.
Learning is a never-ending process, sir, and I appreciate what you just said. Yes, body language, you gave an example of employees. I give an example of your own family. When your children are babies are the biggest and the fastest and the most permanent learners, remember. So they are also watching. So imagine the body language you show in your house, in your family, around the children is also important because they observe and learn from your body language and from your language. So it's really nice, Murthy sir, that, 40 years you said. I'm around 25 years into profession, but I think I'm hoping to be a learner till the end.
Very true.
Thank you so much, Mr. Murthy. And the feedback link is not working, as I understand. Can you all type your email ID and send it across to me so that I will send, feedback link to your email ID directly.
Okay, somebody has taken screenshot sessions. Fantastic. Madam, I just not able to get your name. Prashanti, is that Prashanti Prasad? Yeah, okay. Maybe.
Okay. All right.
Yes, Samir, it's me only. I'll share the screenshots if you want.
Somebody has asked for my presentation. I just have one challenge, sir, ma'am, whoever asked for the presentation. Our TSMT Academy, these are IP rights of our academy. So we would not be able to share it. But if you have taken screenshots or recordings are there, I can't do anything. But the
it's there in the YouTube.
Yeah. The YouTube also is there. So PPTs are developed by our own in-house faculty and everybody, and it's an intellectual property of the academy. So even I don't have rights, even though it's my own academy.
So thank you so much. We are actually 12:33, 3 minutes overshoot. And I will send the feedback link to your email ID. Certificate of participation will be sent across to you within 10 days time. And let us conclude this session on behalf of the organizers. I take this opportunity to thank our District Governor, Rotarian Fazal Mahmood, for inaugurating this session. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much from the organizers.
I think he has just left.
Yeah. Our sincere thanks to PDG Dr. Hariani, who has given us a wonderful session. I don't have words to express. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Samir.
Pleasure is all mine.
I thank the interactors, Rotaractors, Rotary Club members from all other clubs, and also all other participations for making this session a very memorable one. I thank the President, Rotarian Unnikrishnan, and our Charter President, Dr. S. Nithilila. Wonderful thanks to all the participants. Thank you so much for your patronage. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Dr. James.
Thank you. All those who have given your email ID, I shall send across your feedback form. Thank you so much. In case you want to interact with me, you have my email ID. Please send me an email, please. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Samir.
So with your permission, can I exit
Yes.
the meeting? Thank you, everybody.
Yes.
Very
Thank
nice
you.
meeting.
Thank
you. See you,
you. Thank
Uni.
you.
See you, Dr. Nitya.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
See you. Bye.
Thank you.
Dr. James,